Hello, fellow travel enthusiasts. Welcome back to another episode of Travel Preneur. I'm your host, Mega McSwain. Today, we are joined with Amy Larsen, the Industry Relations Manager at the Wyoming Office of Tourism. Hello, Amy. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. This is an honor.
Amy, the Wyoming Office of Tourism plays a crucial role in promoting Wyoming as a vacation destination. How does the agency work to highlight the unique attractions, natural wonders, and cultural experiences that make Wyoming stand out?
Sure. So the Wyoming Office of Tourism, we are the only statewide organization that is just completely dedicated to growing the Wyoming's tourism economy. And that means bringing in non-resident visitors to Wyoming by promoting the state as a vacation destination. Obviously, we want the overnights. We don't want them to just drive down our
Drive through, right?
Yeah,
right.
to stay here and experience it. And we do it through several different mediums. We have a very large and great brand studios team that does a lot of our marketing efforts, and we market on every social media platform. Plus, we still do the good old travel guide. We still are in print, which we get great success from. And then we also have another leg that does called global partnerships. And in global partnerships, we focus on the domestic trade, which would be the package travel motor coach trade, and also the international trade, primarily in markets that we have a pretty good following in. And we have people that are dedicated to being at those trade shows and in those countries and just building those relationships and working to get that overnight visitor.
The success of local tourism often relies on other effective marketing campaigns. So how does the Wyoming Office of Tourism collaborate with other communities, groups, organizations to create a cohesive and impactful marketing strategy?
Sure. I think one of the fabulous things about the Wyoming tourism industry is we are a very small industry. That though, we are the largest private employer in the state of Wyoming. So making tourism is the second largest economy in the state of Wyoming. And as such, because we are so small, we work so well together. So the Wyoming Office of Tourism has our That's Why brand we see on everything and we use. But we also give our partners the opportunity to help leverage that brand. Many of our destinations are very small. They're run by a volunteer or part-time lodging tax board. And so being able to gain the exposure as a state is something that many of our communities and our areas wouldn't be able to do or afford on their own. We work really hard on here are some co-op opportunities that we can do with you. Here are some marketing messages, things that you can buy into. But also we make a concentrated effort to make sure that we are highlighting the vastness and the uniqueness that is Wyoming. Oftentimes when people think of Wyoming, they think of our amazing national parks, which why wouldn't you? How fortunate are we to have bucket list destinations? But what people don't realize is that we still have areas where you can pretty much trace back to the beginning of the earth. We have large paleontology, dinosaurs are huge in Wyoming. You can actually go on dinosaur digs in Wyoming.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, and people don't understand that. There are places in Wyoming. One of my favorite places to take tourists is to the Oregon Trail ride. We have places in Wyoming that you can still stand and walk on the Oregon Trail. And what's so fascinating about that is that you stand there and when you look west, which the early pioneers did, the view hasn't changed. You don't see skyscrapers, you don't see communities, but you truly get to have that full-on experience of what, those early pioneers really did experience. And we also are the cowboy state. And I think one of the things that really sets us apart and how we work well with our communities is that we have this unique sense of Western hospitality. We truly are that last bastion of the West. And we're not putting on a show for the tourists. This is authentically who we are. We just exist. I always tell people, when I send them pictures, that my reality is their postcard. And we work well with our partners on how do we leverage that? How do we move people through the state? We don't have a major airport, so we are very reliant on a drive industry. And so our communities really do have to work together, and we have to work well with our communities because they're all dependent on one another. And how are we moving from one town to the next? And what are those experiences? Because every town has something somebody wants to see and experience.
Can you share any of the partnerships or mutually beneficial partnerships that you've had with the surrounding communities or, like you said, the Office of Tourism, kind of how to promote it as a vacation destination for what people know, but also the stuff that you mentioned that people don't know? What's the best way that you do that to really reach a lot of people? There's so many diverse travelers who are interested in different things.
Absolutely. So a lot of our co-ops are going to be search engine optimization, a lot of Google things, a lot of the standards that everybody kind of does. We don't create anything unique, but we really try to tell the story. And I think that that's what's so important is that we want you to not just get here and stumble upon something. We want you to know the story before you get here. And I think that we're very good on building itineraries and promoting itineraries. We're very good on making sure people understand how do you get from point A to point B. We definitely make sure they understand road conditions and road report. But we also, we do ad effectiveness studies. And so we know who's reading our ads, who's reaching our ads. And that way we can kind of shift to whatever the demographic or the demand is at that time. We do visitor profiles, so we know who is coming and what they're interested in seeing. We do studies, on the visitors of origin, so we know where they're coming from. And obviously, too, when we're marketing in different markets and stuff, you switch up the message just a little bit because different people are looking for different things. And a lot of confuse, especially with the domestic trade. I know a lot of those people are coming to Yellowstone, so we really try to promote what you can see on the way to Yellowstone. So we have a program we do with different routes that all routes lead to Yellowstone. And there's 4 different routes that go through the state. And we have itineraries and ideas and different things to experience as you go through. You asked about one of the fun things we do. We have a road trip sticker campaign. Each of those routes have their own specific name and specific sticker. And then within those routes, the partners are able to purchase into a co-op and have their own unique sticker. And so as people travel from location to location, they can pick up those different stickers. And you can only get those stickers in those locations. So it's not like you can go to the state center and get everything. So that's, phenomenal. That's probably one of our most popular programs in the state is the road trip stickers.
People want to get all of them.
Yeah.
They're like little trophies. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, for sure.
We get emails all the time of people saying, well, I drove through Powell and the visitor center was already closed, so I didn't get their sticker. Can you send me one? I'm like, I don't even have them. You need to call Powell, but it's been a great way for us to kind of market and also for our partners to showcase, who they are and what they are. That's the beauty of Wyoming is every area is so diverse and so different than any other area. But it also makes it easy to market it because you can show a high plains desert, all the way to a gorgeous mountain lake.
This episode is brought to you by travelpayments.com. Travel businesses have unique needs when it comes to credit card processing. From large average ticket sizes and tolerance for higher chargeback ratios to simple integrations with the most popular shopping cart systems, the travel industry specialists at travelpayments.com have you covered. Unfortunately, many of the most popular credit card processors initially accept travel businesses, but without warning, freeze their merchant accounts and the thousands of dollars in them because these service providers don't understand or support the unique needs of travel industry business. Don't get stuck with one of the big guys who will freeze you out without a moment's notice. Instead, work with the travel industry specialist who will support your business every step of the way. Visit travelpayments.com to get a free quote today.
How does the Wyoming Office of Tourism prioritize building relationships with various stakeholders within the industry, like hotels or attractions or restaurants, just local businesses? And how do those relationships contribute to the overall success of the tourism sector?
Sure. We, like I said at the beginning, we're a super close industry. So we do an industry newsletter once a month. We have a Facebook page, but we also do 2 state conferences every year. We do a fall summit, which we just concluded. And that just kind of lays out kind of what our plans are, where we're at. And then in the winter, we always do governor's conference. It's a great opportunity for us to sit down and to talk with all of the partners that you said. We also have members on our staff, with me being one of them, that are actually the contact person for a region of a state. And so that way the hotels, restaurants, people, they just have one person to reach out to a state and we can help direct, where they need to go. But on the other end too, we make it a priority to be out in those areas too. And so we're out there meeting with the hoteliers in person. We're out there experiencing the attractions in person. We're out there if they want advice, and we just make building those relationships a priority because again, it's like the saying goes, the rising tide floats all boats. And we know that the stronger we all are, the stronger our industry as a whole will be.
For sure.
So, and again, the co-ops are huge. We also try to work, I should have mentioned this earlier, it's really important for us and how are we responsibly moving the visitors around the state too. Our national parks, especially during COVID and right after COVID, were just super popular with people.
Right.
And
Right.
so it was a great time for us to work with our federal partners, the Forest Service, the national parks, our state parks, and how do we also showcase similar experiences? So you want this Grand Mountain Lake. And so Jackson Lake is a phenomenal lake in Grand Teton National Park, but we also have the Upper Green River Lakes in Pinedale, which are less crowded. And so working together to move people around our state gives us kind of a unique ability that it's not competition, it's co-opetition.
Right. I like that. Co-opetition. I like that. That's clever. So what is your vision? I mean, I'm sure in the last few years, the initiatives that you guys have put in place there, you see how they pay off and everything. What is your vision for the future of Wyoming's tourism industry? And how does Wyoming Office of Tourism plan to further solidify it as a premier vacation destination?
Yeah. So one of the things that I think we're most proud of right now is that we've been able to work with the majority of our counties and their lodging tax boards. And those are the ones that primarily promote their destinations, to work with them on some strategic planning so that, they kind of have a 5-year plan on how to move forward. And then one of the great things we've been able to do is we started a destination development program. So we're actually able to give these areas some funds in order for them to help kind of create the strategic plans into reality. And sometimes the funds might be as simple as building a website, having somebody be able to maintain it, to a wayfinding sign, to getting bleachers at a rodeo. And so I think what's great is we're able to look at each community individually and help them build a sustainable economy, a sustainable tourism community moving forward as well. And we also really are keyed into sustainability. We don't want to just throw something, and I mean sustainability, not just in protecting our environment, which you can imagine in Wyoming with our wide open spaces and open lands and, just the reason people come here. We obviously want to protect that for future generations.
Sure, of course.
But also, how do we protect our communities from being over inundated and losing a sense and self of who they are too?
Right.
Helping them kind of find that balance of tourism and residents.
Technology continues to play a significant role in destination marketing. How does the Office of Tourism leverage innovative technologies and digital solutions to enhance its marketing strategies, if any?
Oh, we are everywhere. We definitely are on every social media. But we also look for some great opportunities to partner and think outside of the box. So this summer, for example, we did a partnership with Outside Magazine because obviously they would be a huge demographic. Their readers would be a huge demographic. And we were able to partner as well with Ford Bronco. And we did an outside, it was called Wildly Wyoming. And it was kind of a Wyoming version of kind of the Amazing Race, a little bit, where there was 4 teams that competed all around the state. And they had to do different challenges and different things in each location and then be the first to get back. And then the winning team actually were racing for charity. So we were actually able to give money back into the charity based on this Wildly Wyoming. And it's just so cool for us to be innovative, right? So we're on this new digital platform and to showcase all the kind of fun, crazy things you can do out here and still be responsible in doing them.
Right. And was that all filmed and then put on social media or on a website and then people could watch it? That's really cool.
It was hugely successful. Another thing we've done that's been a lot of fun is for our international program. There's 2 guys, they work with us. And they created what's called a Howdy Neighbor series. And they showcased some things around Wyoming for the international market. And just, you don't just come here and go to a rodeo. There's more things to do.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of being creative and how we're kind of setting that stuff out. We're pretty proud of some of the creative ideas we are allowed to do. And again, so much as that we're able to do because we have such great relationships with our partners. And our partners want to do that. And they see that again. We're not just advertising one or marketing one part of our state. We really strive to showcase the entire state and everything that you can do here.
Right. As a respected figure in the travel industry, what advice would you offer to aspiring tourism professionals and destination marketers specifically?
I think the biggest thing is be authentic. Don't oversell yourself. On the same end, don't undersell yourself either. When I was studying for my master's in tourism management, I had a teacher say that there is something in every community somebody wants to see. And I know that when I travel, especially around the state, I always try to find that one thing I haven't seen that somebody wants to see. I think you also need to be proud. If you don't believe in the destination and you're not proud of the destination and you're not proud of what you're doing, then you're not being effective because people can read between those lines. Like you have to, I think your passion and your ability to tell the story and share the story is probably more effective in marketing than it is to just put a picture up on a billboard or put a picture up on your website. Like you have to not only believe in the experience, but you have to be excited about the experience as well.
Right. Because I feel like even a video or a photo, people can look at that on social media, but it's not necessarily going to sell itself. As beautiful as Wyoming is, it sometimes takes the words of another person or trusted person, and that kind of can be all the difference.
Well, even today, when there's so many abilities to filter things and change the reality of the
right, exactly.
And it's just like, why would you do it? And I actually had a friend out here last weekend from North Carolina, and we were up in Yellowstone, and basically all the roads but one in Yellowstone closed because we got a pretty big snowstorm. And we were driving through, and she just kept saying, "This is like living in a snow globe." Like, I mean, we just were so familiar with it. But I'm like, I hope I never lose that excitement. Like, I hope I never lose that, or that other people don't either. And so, we can send a picture of a tree covered in snow, but until you see it with the geysers behind it, it's a completely different experience. So,
and just all those experiences where the roads are closed. I mean, that's not ideal, but it's like these little things that make it charming to be in Wyoming at a certain time.
I mean, there's times where like we can't even leave Cheyenne for a couple of days because the roads are closed, and people are just like, "How do you do it?" And you're like, I don't know.
Just do it.
We do it. It's just the norm. And, and we even joke with people that like we get snow in July. Like there's times that like at upper elevations. And so people are like, what should we wear? And you're like, layers. And I'm like,
oh, well, you are selling it to me. I'm in Texas and I just want to be anywhere but here in July. So that sounds amazing. A lot of people,
Texas is one of our top states. So
right.
But there's a lot familiar with it too, like really that Western culture.
The Western,
That's really, even in our big marketing campaigns right now, we know that's what differentiates us, is that we really are seen as kind of the last bastion of the West, where the cowboy still exists. The lifestyle of the good nature of the cowboy is really instilled in all of us.
Right. Well, I love that. It sounds amazing. And you've definitely sold it to me. I hope you've sold it to our listeners, but it just sounds lovely. Amy, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing, kind of your journey and the initiatives that you guys do to get more people to Wyoming. Let our listeners know where they can kind of learn more and where they can get in touch with you.
Sure. So you can always go to our website, which is travelwyoming.com. You can find us on Facebook at Wyoming Tourism. You can find us on Instagram. We are not on TikTok. I believe at one point we were even on Pinterest. We do have a YouTube channel as well. You can find a Wyoming Office of Tourism or Travel Wyoming on all those platforms as well. They do a lot of great reels and a lot of great stories.
Cool.
On the Instagram and Facebook platforms too. That again, kind of immerse you in the experience as opposed to just about it.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And to our listeners, please follow and subscribe for future episodes. Thanks so much, Amy.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.